My name's Liza Hirsch.
And what year are you in at Queen's?
Fourth year.
And what program?
Drama and English.
Cool. So we are, for our media and performance class, talking to Jews, and we're trying to get some information about how they feel at Queen's versus at home. So we just have a few questions to ask you, if that's okay with you. Okay, so to begin, what sect of Judaism do you identify with? Are you Reform or Conservative or Orthodox or none of the above?
I'm Reformed.
Very cool. So how does being Jewish interact with other parts of your identity? Is there things that you do because you're Jewish, like you dress a certain way or wear your hair a certain way, or
I would say it just to some extent informs how I don't know, like interact with my peers to some extent, because so for example, like the holiday season's coming up right now and I'll have a lot of friends talking about Christmas, and I might not be able to necessarily participate in those conversations because I don't celebrate Christmas, but I'll be like, oh, okay, I celebrate Hanukkah, and like here's what that means to me and my family. I wouldn't say it necessarily changes like the way I dress or present myself, really, but it's more of just something that sort of like underlies my, I guess, like thoughts or like my comments in class, because I, being an English minor, we talk about the Bible a lot in relation to like texts we read, so I'll think more about like, I know some of the Old Testament stories, but nothing about like the New Testament, for example.
Okay, so third, how much effort do you put in to show or represent your Judaism to other people? Like, do you make it a topic of conversation, or do you wait until you know someone more, or what is your deal?
I would say kind of similar to you. I don't really put in a lot of effort to go around and go up to people and say, hello, I'm Jewish, or anything like that. But it's more of if it's something that comes up in conversation or that is relevant in topic or someone asks, I have absolutely no problem in stating I'm Jewish. So like I said, like if someone's talking about holidays, and I might say I don't necessarily celebrate like Christmas or Easter, but like as a Jewish person, here are the holidays I celebrate. Or again, if someone asks or it specifically comes up, then I'll present it, but I don't really go out of my way to make it known that I'm Jewish.
Mm-hmm. So after coming to Queen's, have you found that there's differences in how you perform your religious identity or how you perceive it?
Yeah, I would say I do less holidays because I'm not like really involved with the Jewish groups on campus. I know that's like something that might come up later, but yeah, like at home, my family celebrates all the main holidays. Like we do like Passover, Rosh Hashanah, Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, like all of those holidays. And when I'm at Queen's, I'll still try to celebrate them to some extent, but they're not really quite as important to me. So I wouldn't say there's like a huge difference. Also because my family is Reformed and isn't very observant, except for like these holidays. It hasn't made a big impact. But yeah, it's been into, I feel like in general, I actually like think about my Jewish identity more since coming to Queen's, just because at home I think I was surrounded by more Jewish people on like a daily basis and it didn't come up as much, whereas in like the academic setting of Queen's I find it comes up more somewhat, or at least like I bring a different kind of set of knowledge to some of my classes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And have you made any effort to seek out Jewish culture groups at Queen's? Why or why not?
Kind of like yes and no. So I'm definitely aware of the Jewish culture groups at Queen's, and I've like been to Hillel and Chabad events, but they're not something I engage in often. And I feel like the reason I go to them and the reason I don't go are very similar, in the sense that it's like I know a lot of people who attend these events, so that's one reason to go, is because I do know a lot of people, but on the other, and like a lot of people went to my camp or things like that, but on the other hand is that there's kind of these like pre-established like almost cliques from people who went to say like Jewish day school and I didn't, so that's part of the reason that I don't go to some extent. And then also just the fact that my family, like I said, is not the most observant, so like I might go for like Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah dinner, but like I don't usually go to Shabbat because that's not something I practice at home.
Are your friends at Queen's mostly Jewish, or is there a mix? And does this differ from when you're at home?
I would say there's a definite mix. I would say like for the most part my really close friends are not Jewish. yeah, just because most people I've met, like in drawing, for example, and on my floor are not, but I definitely still have a group of Jewish friends, mostly who I know from back home, who I do hang out with at Queens. And then I find, like, at home, there's somewhat more of a mix. Like I said, I didn't go to a Jewish day school, so, like, a lot of my friends from high school aren't, but I have a, like, stronger group of friends who, say, like, went to camp with me, who are mostly Jewish so I would say, like, a little more at home than here.
How do you find the people around you, like your housemates or coworkers, react to your faith if you actively practice certain traditions in front of them?
I would say, like, for the most part, my peers who are not Jewish react with, like, a sort of interest, because I remember, like, when you're at home, I, like, brought, like, a menorah to school, and I was, like, doing Hanukkah and lighting the candles, and none of my housemates were Jewish, and they were just like, what, like, ooh, this is so interesting, like, what's going on? So I'd say, like, for the most part, it's usually just a matter of interest, and, like, I'll have my friends ask me a lot if I'm ever, like, talking about a holiday or some Jewish tradition, then I'll be like, okay, like, what does this mean? Or, like, I've heard that, like, Jewish people do this, like, is this true? Or is this just kind of like a generalization?
And last but not least, what is your favorite Jewish tradition that you practice?
I think mostly just, like, holidays with my family, because, like, I love the food. The food is great. So yeah, just kind of like having these sort of like communal meals, whether like most usually with my family, but even like here at Queens, and getting together with a group of people to celebrate a holiday, because that to me is like really how I would say I see and practice Judaism, is like it's a community thing and a way for people of the same faith to like come together and celebrate these different like holidays. Yeah.